would, for the sake of discussion to begin with, would anybody care to make a motion to approve the 2019 financial audit?
So moved.
Who said that?
Second.
Smith said.
When giving the motions, if somebody could say their name, that would be helpful.
Mitch Myerson gave the motion.
And Jeff Cottington seconded, I believe.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you, Amy. Is there any questions, comments, discussion from council on the motion to approve the 2019 financial audit? I'm seeing none. Going once, twice, none. No comment. Therefore, a vote is in order. This can be a voice vote. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Is anybody opposed? That motion carried unanimously. Which brings us to our council committee reports. Mayor's report, Mayor Wallace.
Yes, I have actually two correspondence that came from me recently. This one's kind of interesting from the Herald. Are we aware that the Bucks County Herald uses freelance writers and photographers to cover municipal governments? Because of the business closings in our circulation area, our revenue has been reduced significantly, and so much, in fact, that we have told freelance contributors that we must continue their services. We're estimating for the next 3 months. So really what they're asking is if there's anything of note to contact them. If you want something printed or something happened at a meeting that you want to make it to, we have to contact them because their freelance writers will not be attending or keeping an eye on our meetings. The second one was a really nice letter from Mars today, and I Jeff post this on his on the Chalfont website he has. I write on behalf of Mars Incorporated, let you know about Mars' response to the global COVID-19 pandemic. They are basically, as part of their initial global commitment of $20 million, Mars Fish Care Facility in Chalfont, which ordinarily produces fish food and related products, has altered its operations to produce hand sanitizer. An initial donation of 1,200 16-ounce spray bottles, close to 150 gallons, was delivered to the Central Bucks Emergency Medical Service. An additional 1,200 16-ounce spray bottles will be delivered to the Pennsylvania Bureau of Public Health Preparedness. This critical supply of hand sanitizer will be distributed to first responders and hospitals in Bucks County across the state. So we want to thank Mars for stepping up and doing what they can in this time of crisis. I have no more from the mayor's office.
Mayor Wallace, would you be willing to send a thank you to Mars for their contribution to the effort?
Absolutely, right on the letterhead, yes.
Excellent. Public Works Committee, Marilyn?
Wait, we missed the Police Commission.
I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Police Commission, Mayor Wallace. People
So
keep me.
Yeah, we are going to have, they're two separate ones. So. We are going to have a meeting, I believe it's the 21st, our next scheduled meeting, a week from Tuesday. With the Police Commission, we have a couple of topics that are coming up, one of which is going to be the negotiations of the police contract. At this point, we similar to the union that it may be in everybody's best interest to delay this for a year. And just move on with our current contract until things kind of settle down. So we're waiting to hear from them on that. There may be orders to them to move this ahead. We're not really sure yet. Secondly, we are also discussing police pensions. Our finance committee has been delayed another month, so we are discussing how we're going to fund police pensions. As you know, I gave a presentation in the last meeting concerning the police. We'll be discussing that further at length as well. The chief did put out a pretty extensive list of things that they've done to address not only for the when they come into contact with their with the public. So they are enacting social distancing guidelines among the police department. And they're moving forward as well. They're the first responders. They're really kind of on the front lines of this. So they got to rush in to help people responding basically to 911 calls. A 911 call, that's a direct visit to someone's house. If it's not a 911 call, they are really counting and seeing how they can handle it without coming into contact with people. So that's, and every couple of weeks he issues a report on what they're doing and what they need to keep up with it. Other than that, I think we are moving ahead with everything. The building committee meets tomorrow with a 90% number. Hopefully that will be a good solid number of what our costs are going to be. And at first about that, I haven't really looked at it very intensely, but it's better than it was. So that's good news. I don't know if they orchestrated that to make us all feel better about it, but that is the way that it kind of played out. So we'll be getting further information about that tomorrow, and we're having a building committee meeting just like this on Zoom or some other social media. That's all I have. Marilyn, do you have anything to add?
No, I do not. The plan is, well, I guess I do. The plan is that the bid package will be prepared and go out to bid, and hopefully we'll have results by June. In June, and then all three councils will have to approve the bid before construction can get underway. So that's the plan for the police building.
I guess that's all we have. Oh, I would say that quickly. I had a meeting with the chief this morning, and fortunately, he said they're dead. There's not much going on out there. So they're patrolling. They're keeping an eye on things, but certainly the amount of traffic accidents or any kind of other incidents is down. So that is good news. Nobody's going out there criminals. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, Marilyn, the Public Workers.
Yes, the report is in the packet, but I wanted to highlight a couple of my major one is the Bucks 5K series has been canceled. All 7 race directors had a Zoom conference. We're still working out. Hopefully enough people, and it looks like it already, enough people, because there were expenses that the series had in place, because this happened 5 days before the first race of the series. So there were expenses that the series already had. However, of the 200 runners that have registered for the series, about a quarter of them donated. They opted to donate their registration for the year. So that's going to help with the cost that we've already had. So I don't think that we'll have to be giving them any money. But it's going to be a few weeks yet before it all settles out, because all runners have been contacted, but not all runners have responded. So we still have scheduled Chalfont evening for Saturday, September 12th. And our sponsors, the ones for the Chalfont Challenge, also help sponsor. Their sponsorship also goes towards Saturday, the Chalfont evening. So we're hoping we'll be able that event at UNAMI. 3 projects that are on hold at the moment that have gotten started but now on hold is Chestnut Street Park, if you drive past Chestnut Street Park, you'll notice that things are underway, but they had to stop. We're not sure when they'll be able to come back. Same with the Neshaminy Greenway Trail that goes along Bristol Road and the Bristol Road bridge repair. Those two items have been on hold by PennDOT. So those are things that we don't know when they're going to happen. The roadway project for Patriot Place. So that's mainly the rest of the report is in the packet. So I think we've also decided that our parks are open. The trails, most importantly, have been open, and they're in great use. I've had lots of compliments. People are really happy that they can get out. They're social distancing extremely well, and actually discovering places that they didn't know Chalfont had. So that's been really healthy for our community. Mitch, did you have a question?
Yeah, is there any problem with the Chestnut Park construction delay? Is there going to be any price change?
I wouldn't think so. Sean, do you?
At this point, no. There's been no discussion of that, and I don't anticipate that. To see how this all plays out, we don't even know when they can start working again yet. So,
Marilyn, I know a lot of our school construction projects have been allowed to start back up again. Everybody has to provide, how they're going to maintain a safe working environment and things like that. With that Bristol Road bridge replacement, which was going to be just a traffic nightmare all summer long, and certainly even during the spring, if they could jump on that now, try to take a little bit of advantage of some things. I don't know if PennDOT has been trying to find ways to have safe working plans as well for some of their projects. Might be something to check into.
Well, according to the bulletins, they are doing some major projects. So they've started coming back probably the last 2 weeks, at least on their bulletins, it shows that. Sean, have you heard anything?
yes, I did talk to PennDOT and Todd Pollenchok about this, because Bristol Road would obviously be a great project to do for exactly why you said it. There's no traffic. PennDOT has not given an answer as to when they expect that project to start again. We have made the request, and Todd also extended his request to PennDOT because he agreed it would be good time to get that project done. Applied with an official response yet.
As in my other hat, as a contractor, I applied for a waiver and got it right away. It only took a few days. All that I would wear a mask near someone, and I got a waiver to keep working.
As I understand it, all waivers were taken back from the initial response. That was the last I had heard, is that at least for residential construction, I know for a fact all those waivers that were given out have been rescinded. And I'm pretty sure that all waivers have been rescinded.
Mine says it's for emergency repairs, which, like a pipe burst.
That's different then.
Oh, okay, that's what I got.
Yeah, my understanding is the construction waivers were rescinded. I'm unaware. I'm not saying they weren't extended beyond that, but I'm unaware of it being extended beyond the construction waivers. But the construction waivers that were granted were rescinded.
Anything else with the 5K or Public Works, Marilyn?
No, not at this time.
Ryan has a question.
Marilyn, how does this affect funding for parks and stuff as far as not having the 5K this year? Is that money we counted on? Is it money we need? Is it just part of the kitty? Or, how does that affect us?
Well, the funds were going to be used towards Chestnut Street Park. Fortunately, we have received from sponsors so far around $8,000, which will help fund Chalfont Night. Have enough in the recreational fund, I believe, to cover cost of Chestnut Street Park. Sean.
Yeah, I talked to Daryl about this a little bit. The money that was coming in for this year was going to be put into the recreation fund. There's enough, the money that, if you want to coming in this year, wasn't being expended this year. So this money would have been in the recreation fund next year, even after Chestnut Street's built, if that makes sense. The money that's coming in this year wasn't planned to be. So next year we'll have to take it into account for the budget cycle that this money won't be there that we expected to be there.
That you're done then, Marilyn?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I cut you off once. I didn't want to do it twice. Facilities Committee, Mr. Coddington.
Nothing to report other than all activity. Nothing to report other than all activities have been suspended during the coronavirus shutdown.
Thank you, sir. Mitch, Utilities Committee.
Okay, well, just Jeff's report. Jeff, maybe we could have like a Zoom meeting with your neighbor who's the expert on webcasting, because I think this emergency kind of highlights the need for future webcasting, and that'll help us out. As for utilities, nothing new to report because of the emergency.
Okay, and the Finance Committee is scheduled to meet this Friday just to basically try to anticipate, plan, and look at the effect of this interesting time we're living through on our finances. There's no particular topic other than a review of our finances and how it'll affect the budget. And we don't have Hank online, so there is no junior council report. Sean, I don't know if we contacted him. If not, that was a mistake on my part. If nothing else, we've got to remember to include Hank on these meetings.
Yes, we will do that in the future here.
I did send him the information.
Oh, thank you, Amy. I didn't know, honestly, and that's fine. Thank you so much. And with that, manager's report, Sean.
Yeah, the only thing to include is that I did have a meeting today with Pat DeGangi about it was a conference call for the Chalfont Crossing development at Bristol Road in Butler. They are currently working through some of the permitting process with PennDOT, what they've been able to. There's a couple, they're trying to fine tune through their plan, through the plan, and to try to be able to do final approval here in the, coming months and hopefully start construction. So that project is moving along.
When you say final approval, you're talking with PennDOT, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We don't have anything else, Sean?
No.
Okay.
No questions were submitted or anything, so no.
The engineer's report is in our packet. Mike McGinnis, solicitor's report.
My report is in the packet.
In the packet. We do not have any of the police online. They're rather busy doing all kinds of interesting things, I'm sure. And Public Works report, Sean.
It's in the packet. I don't have anything else to add to it.
I did want to compliment the Public Works Department on that. It was very nicely formatted, and the pictures added a lot to what was in the report. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Monthly reports, we have the Chalfont EMS, or the Chalfont Regional EMS and Chalfont Fire Company report in the packet, which brings us to action items. The first action item is Resolution 2020-03, extending the face payment date for 2020 real estate taxes, Chalfont real estate taxes through July 30th, 2020 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The copy of the resolution was put online yesterday. One change to the first display was an ampersand in the now be it resolved by Chalfont Borough that the face payment date for the 2020 county and municipal real estate tax bill shall be extended through July 30th, 2020. The background on this is that extended their real estate taxes, and the purpose of this resolution, should it be passed, would be to not basically, but would make all of the taxes on our Chalfont distributed tax bill by our Chalfont tax bill have the same dates, which provides relief to the people who have to pay taxes, and I'm sure makes our tax collector's job far easier to have all of the taxes collected under the same date conditions. Mike McGinnis, do you have anything to add to what I've said?
No, that's accurate. That's a good summary. The only thing I would additionally add is that my understanding is many other municipalities are enacting similar resolutions, and we're recommending this to be A, as a benefit to the residents, but B, to keep in line, as you said, with the guidance and the decision at the county level.
Yeah, and I do know this is being considered by many of the Bucks County municipalities at the request of the county, actually.
Correct.
Would anybody care to make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-03 concerning the face payment date for the 2020 real estate taxes?
So moved. Jeff Coddington.
Jeff Coddington, and is there a second?
Second. Mitch.
Second. Is there any discussion, questions?
Quick question. I don't know if Sean can answer this or not, but does this really affect us that much as far as cash flow goes? I would imagine that the vast majority of people pay their taxes to their mortgage. That's already happening.
Yes, so we actually have not received payments yet, the large ones, but Barbara Klingerman did look into that, and they are scheduled, and we'll have them before the end of the month, which we normally do. So, no, we'll talk about it a little more at our finance committee meeting, but we fully anticipate having, 95% or so of our, will receive payment before the end of the month.
Okay, thank you.
Which is pretty normal.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I believe it was Jeff Coddington mentioned how the Pennsylvania State Senate has passed a bill changing this a little bit, but it has not gone to the House yet. And in what we're doing now is in concert with the county, and should there be a change by the Pennsylvania State Legislature, what we would have to do is simply a new resolution voiding this resolution and agreeing to what to do, quite frankly. Did I say anything wrong with that one, Mike McGinnis?
No, that's correct. I mean, we would be preempted, but the borough would address that at presumably at the next council meeting, which is to have a subsequent resolution.
So at this point, is there any other council? I see none. By our
I do. John, excuse me, I have a question. What happens to COLA if they do extend that? Is there any disposition on that?
That has not been approached, and Mike, you have an answer to that?
Well, my understanding of this is that this is discretionary. It's extended.
Yes.
I don't think there would be an impact on collected revenue. That would be my presumption, but I didn't answer, but I would be fairly confident in that assumption.
So it would be up to the municipality whether to extend that date or not. The state's allowing it, but it would be up to the individual municipality?
No. So if the state passes legislation that mandates an extension, then the municipality, in effect, preempted. The municipality does not have the authority to contradict the state. So in that scenario, we're really bound by whatever the state ends up passing or determining, because it's similar to some other ordinance we passed. For example, like the fireworks ordinance, when the state passes certain guidelines, then we're beholden to those guidelines. We can somehow and sometimes fill in the gaps where the state is silent, but we cannot contradict anything that the state is doing. My only statement, and I might have misunderstood the question, but my only statement with this resolution particularly is it extends the face payment date. That is a different impacting funds that are already collected. This just extends the time period, not the discount period, but the time period for the to, in effect, July 31st. But obviously, if the state passes, and I'm hesitant to speculate while there was not yet passed, but if the state does pass legislation, we will respond accordingly and address a resolution at that time the state's position is.
Understood.
Anything else? In that case, since we have to do this, Tracy, how do you vote? Coddington.
Yes.
I will vote yes. Mark Glidden.
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Mike Kelly.
Yes.
Mike Myerson.
Yes.
Okay. That resolution is adopted 7-0 unanimously. And our next action would be a question of approval, if so desired, of Resolution 2020-04, affirming the Borough Council's ratification of the Chalfont Borough Declaration of State of Emergency. And I'm from our solicitor who, in discussion with this is basically a belt and suspenders. It changes nothing that we did in our last meeting, our second, but it puts it in resolution form, which dots I's, crosses T's, and could be described as belts and suspenders. You have the full resolution. The action of this resolution is now therefore be resolved by Chalfont Borough Council that the declaration of state of emergency dated March 23rd, 2020 was and subsequently ratified by council on March 24th. And this resolution just affirms that we took that action in our last meeting. And once again, Mike McGinnis, have I misspoken?
No, that's accurate. This affects nothing substantively. It's documenting it so that if for whatever a question comes up about this, we don't have to dig through meeting minutes. We have a simple resolution that can be provided. That's it.
Now, for the sake of discussion here, to make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-04.
So moved.
Who said that?
Mark Linton.
Mark Clayton. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry.
Austin Jacobson.
Seconds. Is there any questions, comments, discussion from council? And public present, so there is no public comment. Once again, a voice vote is required. Tracy Bowen,
Yes.
Ed Coddington.
Yes.
I will vote yes. Mark Glidden,
Yes.
Marilyn Jacobson,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Mike, and Mitch Myerson.
Yes.
Okay, this motion carries unanimously as well. Thank you. I am not aware of any old business. Does anyone have old business to come before council? I'm also not aware of new business. Are there any items of new business? Yes, Mark Glidden.
John, I don't really, this may fall under old business, but, the borough, the Public Works Department stopped monitoring the dead and the dying trees as a result of the emerald ash borer. And I just wanted to check in with Sean and see if that was continuing, if that monitoring was continuing, especially with a lot of people on the trails right now.
Absolutely, it is. We have a lot of tree work lined up for this year. Unfortunately, the contractors have not been out yet. We haven't had that work done during this since the weather's gotten a little bit better, but it will be taken into account. Work will be done this year, and we'll be planning work for next year. There's tree work that could be done for the next 50 years on borough-owned property. So it's an ongoing thing, and we're just taking the worst of the worst and, doing what we can each year.
Great. Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
I'd like to piggyback what Marilyn said about the parks and stuff. Twin Streams Park is right behind me here, and every day around between 4 and 5, I take my dog out. My daughter and I take the dog for a walk, and we're meeting a lot of new people. They're discovering our trails, and they're all keeping social distancing. It's me and a couple other dog owners out there, but every day we see a new set of people. We've gone on the trails behind Borough Hall, and it really seems like this is a big positive for us, and people are really using them. One of the strange things I've encountered there is that there's been groups of kids without any adults, and they're obviously not related, like out there riding bikes and having a good old time. So that's one thing I noticed about it is some parents are telling their kids to get out of it, which is kind of an odd thing. But it really is a big plus for us, and people are really finding our trails. And Sean, I went and cut that vine off of that tree all by myself with my chainsaw, which I don't know if that was illegal or not, but seeing that I'm the chairman of the regional police department tried to arrest me.
Yes, Mitch.
Up the trails too. There was a tree down that fell down a couple of months ago, and within, it was gone. So my hat's off to it. Twin Streams is beautiful. They do a great job there.
Thank you.
Question to maybe Mike Kelly. On the YouTube channel, do you see any questions or comments on the live chat?
I'm being very careful not to touch the YouTube channel because it was having trouble starting up earlier. I've gotten some texts. We've had as many as 11 viewers. We're a hit. I know the audio.
No questions.
Well. It sounds like the
I
video's
was one of those viewers.
I don't know if you see anything